Hello students, welcome back to 2D Video Game Design. Today I'm going to talk very quickly about some C# scripting basics, and I'm going to be covering the absolute bare minimum to get you started. So a lot of these terms that we're going to go over have much more technical definitions, so if you have previous coding experience and you notice that I am way oversimplifying things, that's probably true. So anyways, let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is a variable. So a variable is simply a container that holds a piece of information that your program is going to use. In C#, we need to tell the computer what type of data we are holding, what piece of information we are containing in our variable. So each variable needs to have a type. So one of the most basic types of variables is an int. An int is short for integer, and that simply means that it's a whole number. So that could be any positive numbers, any negative numbers. It also includes 0, but no decimals or fractions in integers. So the way we would use an integer is we would declare it. We would say, I have an integer called the number of times I visited Disneyland, and that is 32. One thing I want to point out there is first we have int. We're telling the computer what type of variable it is. And then I used a very descriptive name for my variable. There's no reason not to use descriptive names when you're writing your variables. You don't want to forget what that variable meant. So if you use something like x, you might forget later on in your program what x meant. So we want to describe what we're using. The other thing is, if you notice the capitals, it starts with a lowercase n, and then each new word I use an uppercase letter. And this is called camel case. Your program will run if you don't use this, but this is a naming convention that most C# programmers use. And this is so if another programmer looks at your work, they see, oh, it starts with a lowercase letter, that must be a variable. So another example is integer number of onions on my cheeseburger, and that is equal to 0. Now another type of variable is a float, and a float is simply a decimal number. Now the reason we call it a float is because there are a floating number of decimal places after the whole number. So for example, float, my height in inches is 74.5. The F indicates that there's a floating number of decimals there. And that just means it can be any number of decimals that are required. So for example, 74.5 is the same thing as 74.5000, but those zeros aren't necessary. If I added 0.001 to it, the number of decimals would increase accordingly. Another one is float tacos I ate last night, 4.3. That would mean I ate 4 whole tacos and then I took a big bite out of a 5th one, but I didn't finish it. So floats are just decimals. While we're talking about numbers, it's important that we know how to tell our program to do math on it. So addition is simply the plus sign, subtraction is the minus sign, multiplication we use the asterisk. So shift 8 to get the multiplication symbol, and then division is the backslash. That's the one right next to your shift key with the question mark on it too. Another type of variable that we're going to be using a lot is a vector2. So a vector2 is a two-dimensional vector that has horizontal and vertical direction and magnitude. So the one in the picture right there is the vector 2, 3. That means it starts at 0, 0, and then it moves to the right 2 and up 3. We are going to talk about how to use vector2s a lot in the next video, but we'll leave it at that for now. Methods. Methods are actions that a program can take. We're going to use a lot of methods that are built in. Some of them are built into C#, some of them are built into Unity, and then eventually we'll be making our own methods. The way methods look are we start off with the method name, and you'll notice with the name it uses camel case In C#, the naming convention is that if it's a method, it starts with an uppercase letter. So this is method name, and then in parentheses, any arguments that we might have. So the method name would be the action that you take, and the arguments are kind of details about how to do something. So if we're looking at code and we see something, it starts with a capital letter and then it has parentheses after it, we know that it's a method, which means it's some kind of action that's being taken. So some more examples, a little bit more specific. If I had a method called jump, I know that's a method because it starts with capital letter and then it ends with parentheses. If I ran that command, assuming that a programmer had written a jump method, that could make an object jump. Now there's nothing on the inside of the parentheses, so that means it would just execute without any additional information. However, if I said something like jump 5, that is going to add an argument, and depending on how the code was written, that 5 might do something different. So that could mean jump 5 times, jump 5 feet, or jump with an initial velocity of 5 meters per second. And again, that all depends on how the code was written. And we'll learn a lot about different methods and what the different arguments do in them. The last thing I want to talk about is the dot operator. So a dot indicates that whatever is on the right of the dot belongs to whatever is on the left of the dot. So how the dot operator is used, first example is I have a player and that player has health. So if I wanted to do something with the player's health, I would say player.health. Another one would be an enemy attack. I have an enemy and that enemy has an ability called attack. The third example there is just to show how the dot operator can be chained together. So this last statement means there's a player and that player has an inventory, and that inventory has an ability to add things, and the add method has the argument cobblestone. So what that last statement would do is it would add cobblestone to the inventory that belongs to the player. So those are the bare minimum basics that'll get you moving in Unity 2D video game design. We'll show some more specific examples of that in the next video.